So I've been playing with my gel plate today, and this is something I have that's got to dry, so I'm going to set this over to the side. But I have a project that I'm working on that is very important. And I have been making some prints to use. So I just wanted to do a flip through with you and just show you the outcome of what I've done so far. Let me see, maybe if I hang on my camera just a little bit different, you might be able to see better. Still got a shadow. Me and my shadow. Let's see if the light helps. Don't know if that helps or makes it worse. Okay, this one was kind of a flop. It didn't do what I wanted it to do. This one I kind of like. It's a little bit red for me because I'm more of an orangey person, but overall it's not a bad print. And this is just some messed up stuff. Here's where I tried to lift the gold dots up. And then I have my tissue papers that I made so that they will disappear and I will be able to put them on a page without them being seen, without the paper part being seen. You'll just see the image. Got some roses, I've got hearts, and they're all in the colors that are being used at the wedding. This is one of the actual pages of the journal. I'm recycling a card. It was actually a birthday card, but the colors were just spot on. And so this is the very first page. I have not made my cover yet, but it's coming. Alright, I have my tissue papers. More tissue papers. Oh, that's upside down. And the hearts look like fire. I think that's kind of cool. And these are the strips that come in little sets. They're pretty good bang for the buck. You know, you buy your set, and I keep them beside my desk all the time. I do not put them away like I do my other things. And this is just a total grunge mess. I'm not sure what I'll do with it. Something will happen with this at some point, but it didn't turn out like I wanted it to. This one, however, I'm quite pleased with. This is a PM Artist Studio stencil, and it happens to be one of my favorites. That's a little bit on the dark side for a wedding journal. This one's a little quirky looking, but I kind of like it. And this was where I was doing echo prints. This was what was on my 5x7 plate. I had I played with ink, so there was some stuff, grunge stuff on there. This is from the Liriope. This is the offset print. And this one is the Holly Bush. And I played with those several different ways. So those are the prints that I have, and I'm going to do some work in that journal today. And we're going to use some of these things. This is still, let's see, it's still quite wet. So I'm going to put it to the side. And hopefully it will not create an avalanche. The way my desk is set up, I have my desk here and I have this wooden shelf beside me, and that is where I put things to dry. What I need is a rack, and I have not found exactly what I want yet. So, alright, I have a stencil that needs a bath, so it will go to the spa. It will be going to the spa. It's going to have some of the layers. It's got multiple layers. It's starting to get a little heavy, and I do not want to let it get so heavy that it takes days for the stuff to soak off. What I'll do is I'll take it and put it in the sink in hot water and Murphy soap, and then I will clean it. So, okay, let's see who's dinging me. Okay, let's silence that. Got it where I can see it. My husband's out of the house and my daughter's out of the house, so I always kind of nervous about just turning it off and not having it to where they can get in touch if something happened. So I may be a little bit paranoid about that. I don't know how you store your things, but I have this big tin that had black pepper in it, and you don't get these tins like this anymore. So I had my husband to cut the top out of it, and this is what houses my glue. I'm up too close now. Let's back off a little bit. This is what houses my glue. So after I finish with my glue, I put them up. I have eyelashes in here. I have my art glitter glue and my glue stick. And I have the refills beside them, but doing this helps me stay a little more organized. And I can appreciate the organization. Okay, I'm going to get my little scissors out. These are some scissors that my husband got for me. They're actually surgical scissors, and I have a couple of different pairs, and they are so good for cutting little things. So let me see what the front of this is. The front of it's a rose. So if I use roses here, I think it might look very nice. Where are my roses at? All right, here we go. We got roses. We got roses and hearts, so I think we will use both of those. And we'll cut around this and get as close as I can. I'm not going to be stressing over it. Now, with tissue paper, I generally used just a normal white glue, like Elmer's. I buy it in the fall time of the year because if I do that, I get it for like 50 cents for a small container. Let's see, 50 cents. At Walmart, you get a 4 ounce for 50 cents this time of year. So when I see that, I buy it. And then I mix it in my jar. I have it mixed half and half with water. So that's what I'm going to use to put these tissue pieces down specifically because I want them to disappear. And that will let that happen. Alright, we've got a rose. And I'm not sure if I want to use all those leaves, so let's separate out. I think we'll separate 2 leaves out, and we'll put those to the side to use at another time. Now, I don't know what kind of brush you like to use, but I am kind of funny about what I like to use with my glue mixture. I have a stiff brush somewhere. As you can see, I use it for other things too, but it's just a stiff brush, an angled brush. But for some reason, this one seems to perform really well. I think I got it on sale at somewhere like Michael's. And I'm just going to put the glue very lightly because I don't want anything to bubble up. And if you put your glue underneath and then come over top, it really does work better than trying to put it down and get it wet enough. That's kind of a fine line. You have to kind of pay attention on that. All right. And if you see that you've got an edge that doesn't seem to be laying down like it needs to, just go back up under it. And that will make it look almost seamless. Now see how nice that is? And that's going to be a good flow for this journal. Now we're going to put our leaves on. I probably should have cut that one a little bit more. You heard me huffing, I'm sorry. Sometimes my hands don't do the, are difficult. And as you can see, I have been gel printing, so my fingers are covered. All right, there we go. And I always just try to get it with my brush and lay it down because I don't fight with it as hard that way. Okay, so there we have it. We've got the rose down. Now let's see. I think we'll put the hearts on the other side. I'll go ahead and just cut these out while we're here. Yes, I'm shaky. It happens. Alright, that one's no good. But that's okay. We've got a whole row right here that's really good. And that's okay. Sometimes things don't come out exactly right, but I could save that. I could you know, go over with a gel print, a gel pen, or I could use a acrylic paint pen if I wanted to or needed to. Alright, so we're going to put these parts that I've got cut out, we're going to put them over here so they don't get messed up. I'm trying to stay in focus, folks. It's just like me. I'm constantly wiggling. So I have to remind myself to look up and see the display. Alright, so that's done. I do see a little edge right there sticking up. Now, if you get everything done and you come back and you saw that little tiny edge, I would probably go ahead and use the art glitter glue rather than getting my brush and my glue out again. But I already have it out, so I think it's going to be okay. Now, I'm going to set that to the side to dry. And we're going to look at something, what our next pages are looking like. Alright, this one I think is probably good to go. Unless, what about if I use the X's and the circles? That might be kind of cute, like hugs and kisses. It means cutting them out individually, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. I think I can make that work. Alright. So we're going to do X's. And we'll use these for O's. Alright. Now we're going to lay these up here and try to space them out and see how they're going to look. That is, as soon as I can pick them up. Alright, we have an X, an O, an X, and an O. And that's probably okay. We got hugs and kisses looking on the horizon. I like it. And this was a bad gel print underneath here. But I kept just putting it on the plate. I kept just picking stuff up with it. And before I knew it, it was really pretty. And it surprised me. I was happy that I was able to save it. Because you can see it's got some ugly stuff up under there, but I've used it several times in this journal. And it was scrap paper too, if I remember right. There was something on the back side of it. It wasn't brand new paper. See all that grungy goodness in here? Let me hold it up so you can see it. I mean, I liked it. I think it turned out pretty cool, especially when you get that dark blue in there, and it pulls so many colors. I mean, it just seems to draw other colors into focus. Let's make sure we get our X on here right. I think it needs to go right in that spot right there. I was going to say it must be on the hour because our clock is going crazy. The worst time is when it chimes at midnight or 12 in the afternoon. It will drive you bonkers because it ding, 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 ding. And on the half hour, it sings a little tune. We had to have it repaired, and our old one didn't do that. And when it come home, we're all saying, "What? Can you turn it off?" No, you couldn't. It was one of those things that you were stuck with. All right, so I won't be able to do anything else on this particular part. So I'm going to set it to the side. And we're going to grab a few more pages and see what we could do with those. Okay. I'm not going to do anything on this page. I think it's beautiful just the way it is. Actually, no. I think I'm going to put some lace on that page. Let me grab my lace back. Yeah, I'm going to put some lace on that bad boy. So I want it shiny. Ooh. That looks kind of nice. That's a good candidate. Let's see what else we got. Yes, I'm scrounging through a bag. It's full of all kinds of little goodies. Oh, that's nice. Look at that. Ooh, I think that might be it. And it's already frayed, so that's kind of cool. I can fray the rest of it, the other side. So we'll put that big bag down. And for this, I'm going to open it up so I don't get the glue on the other side. Alright, we're going to start with just a simple little start there. It's better to do a little bit at a time than to put too much down and it dry out, because what happens is you end up with a lump, and a dysfunctional lump. And dysfunctional is not something that we want in our craft room. I'm dysfunctional enough. I don't need it to happen to my journals. If you're dysfunctional, I'm not dissing you. Don't get me wrong. I support people who struggle in spite of all the things they have to deal with on a daily basis. And they just say, I'm going to do it. And that's that. And don't let things stand in their way. It's kind of a good way to live. It's a good philosophy. Alright, so let's put the pen back in. I'm doing really good this time. I have not lost my stainless steel pen yet. And I'm trying to break myself from putting it in my mouth because that's not a good thing. Okay, let's see. I don't want to, this is all flowers and this is flowers. And so I think that I want something other than flowers here. So let's look at what we've got. We've got this kind of chain of circles, and that doesn't exactly speak to me. Now that yellow flower and that yellow flower, let me get it up here where you can see it. There's a yellow flower here. If I use that yellow rose, I think that might be kind of cool. And I wasn't thinking flowers were going to be the way to go, but I like it. What if I take a little piece of this part, if you see me twitching, I apologize. I've been out in the yard today and got a little dehydrated, so I'm a little bit wonky. It happens. And I try to be really good. I drank a whole lot when I was out there, but I'm beginning to wonder if I drank enough. I just normally don't sweat, but since I've developed diabetes, I sweat a little quicker, and I have to be really careful when I'm outside in the heat to not get too into the heat. What if I do something like that? I like it. I like it because I've got the vertical stuff going on here. So I think that kind of distracts a little bit from my little stringy piece here. Let me get those strings off of there. They don't really look good there. Okay. So we got those out. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put this piece underneath the rose. And again, these are the stencil that I used they're called strips. I call them strippers because I think it's funny. But their real name, if you search for them on the PM Artist Studio website, is they are strips. And you get a multiple pack. You get multiple different styles or pieces. So if you don't have a lot of money to spend and you want to get, easy ways to add things to your journals, I think that the stencils that are strippers, I think they do give you a lot of opportunity to have different designs in smaller sizes. They've also got some that are what are ATC size, almost playing card size, and those are really nice as well. Now I like the way that turned out. Let me put it up close to the technology here. And I can still play with this. Once it's dry, I can play with it and I can do other things with it if I choose to do it. And when you use the glue, it doesn't take a long time to dry, but you definitely have to have space to put things. Alright, let's see what's next. Alright, next I have a pink rose. And I put some blue in here. The paper, this paper is some that was recycled from some of our Clusterbuster conferences. And that's that's how I met her, is through the Cluster Busters. So that's kind of a little symbolic piece. And I cut that's a cut from where I was making my postcards. I used those recycled materials. Don't need a hair glued on. It's so lovely. My hair is falling out. We always check for ticks and make sure we didn't bring any bugs in with us. But I washed my hair and I let it air dry because it's so curly. And so it's hair flying everywhere basically. All right. Now, let me think. Do I have some of that blue? Yes, I do. So what if I did something like that? Or, I'm not sure what I want to do with that. That'll work. I feel pretty good about that. So we're going to glue that on. And I'm going to use my art glitter glue. And as you can see, my bottle is very messy. I use a refill because it's the most economical way to purchase it. And here in the US, I'm able to get it in an Amazon package where it is a new tube, which I don't really need, but you know, it's cheaper to buy it that way, and that it does come with that fine pointed tip. All right, let me see. Let's line this up. All right, so it's 20 inches across. That means I need to be right here. That should be around the center. I can measure it, but I don't have to. I am using my mat to kind of get it close to what it needs to be. And I can put this directly over it. I need to put it on the top part first and then overlap it. I thank you for coming and playing with me today. I have been working on a journal for my friend's wedding, and her colors are burnt orange. So this is another midsummer streamathon episode. So look for it on the playlist. There'll be I've got 3 that'll be on, so look for it. And I appreciate you coming along and watching me as I do some mixed media pieces. And I thank you for your support. Please give me a thumbs up, and I will see you next time.